If you're anything like how I used to be, and you struggle with focus, concentration, and no matter what, you just can't seem to get your work done, then this is the video for you. And I'll warn you, the method that I'm going to teach you in this video might just make you question your own capabilities, because the truth is we are a lot more capable of success than we realize. This method allowed me to go from being a kid in school who couldn't sit down and do his homework for more than 5 minutes without being distracted, to someone who can almost effortlessly work on and enjoy difficult tasks for a long period of time. Let me ask you a question inspired by the book The 4-Hour Workweek by Tim Ferriss. If you only had 2 hours per day to work, could you imagine accomplishing more than most people? I'll give you a second to think about that. And the truth is that might sound really ridiculous and unrealistic to a lot of you, but it's really not. It's really not, because if you really think about it, if you really only had 2 hours per day to work, you would greatly treasure those 2 hours, and you would probably cut out all of the time wasting and pseudo-productive tasks that 99% of people waste their time with, probably including you. Look, we live in an age of distraction and laziness. We have so many ways to distract and entertain ourselves and pretend we're being productive that we've lost the ability to sit down and focus on one productive, difficult task for a long period of time. And this is more formally known as performing deep work. And I've been reading this book lately. I've read this book multiple times, Deep Work by Cal Newport. And I've been going back to it because there's still stuff that I need to remind myself of. In the book, deep work is described as professional activities performed in a state of distraction-free concentration that push your cognitive capabilities to their limits. These efforts create new value, improve your skill, and are hard to replicate. So it's basically just doing difficult tasks without being distracted. And not just any difficult tasks that are actually going to make a significant impact and actually get you closer towards your goal. It is a state of distraction-free concentration when your brain works at its maximum potential. And here's the thing, right? 1 hour spent doing deep work is more valuable than 4 hours spent doing shallow work, which Newport defines as low-effort tasks often performed in a state of distraction. Back when I was in school, college, I would try to study for my exams and do my homework, and I would be sat at my desk for 4 or 5 hours, but I would really only get 1 to 2 hours worth of work done because I was in a state of distraction. If you want to get the most reward out of your precious and limited time and effort, I would take this advice, because 99% of people won't do this. If you can just sit down and focus for 2 to 3 hours, you are automatically ahead of everyone. Almost everyone, 95% of people. So in your deep work hours, work like hell. Sit down and immerse yourself in a state of distraction-free concentration and work on the one task that's going to make the most difference and get you towards your desired goal. Eliminate all distractions from your environment, because this is what gets most people. Even checking your phone, your text, your social media once during this time can put your brain in a distracted and suboptimal state for up to 30 minutes. As Newport nicely says in the book, human beings, it seems, are at their best when immersed deeply in something challenging. And because deep work is becoming increasingly rare and thus increasingly valuable in modern times, those who learn to cultivate this skill will thrive. Before I learned about this, I always found myself in this one particular scenario. So let me know if you can relate to this. So I'd be filled with motivation to tackle whatever task, whatever work I had to do, in school. And I would sit down, but within minutes, I'm switching between tasks, I'm multitasking, and then my notifications will go off. I'll switch tabs to YouTube. I'll get distracted by social media, and then I slowly start to feel a lot more anxious, and a lot more guilty, because I feel my productivity just slipping away. And before I know it, I'm scrolling on Instagram, on TikTok, to try to escape that anxiety. And then before I know it, hours have gone by and I've gotten nothing done. That is the unfortunate, painful reality that a lot of people go through on a daily basis. The idea of deep work is that you eliminate all this shallow nonsense. You identify the one task of the utmost importance that's actually going to move the needle and get you to where you want to be. And then you execute that task with focus and precision. We increase the intensity, but we're gonna save a lot of time. All right, you might be thinking, well, that's great and all, but how do I actually implement this practice into my life? Well, here's how you get into deep work, and here's how you start performing it and get into unbreakable states of flow. Step one, honestly, more like step zero, is to think about and ideally write down your goals and your direction for and why you're diving in to this meaningful work. Because if you don't have a destination in mind, it's like wandering without a map. It's like you're not going to be able to measure if you're actually making progress because you don't have the destination in mind. And this will often lead to anxiety, procrastination. All right, so step two, you need to set an intention before each deep work session. So before each time you dive into deep work, I need you to identify and write down specifically what task you are going to accomplish for that session. This will prevent you from trying to decide in the moment, and this will ultimately prevent future procrastination and distractions. And I realize that all this stuff sounds a little bit extreme and difficult and over the top, but the truth is that you are going to have to embrace a little bit of discomfort in your life if you truly want to make a big impact and a difference. Whether we like it or not, we have to embrace a little bit of discomfort and have a little bit of discipline to make some true progress. So by the end of this video, even if you've just learned one thing, be proud of yourself for that. I hope you just at least walk away from this video with one lesson learned. And these are all things that I help people out with in my one-on-one coaching. First session is completely free, by the way. Okay, you've outlined your goals and your direction. Now, step number three is to pick a distraction-free environment that you're able to perform this deep work in. In that room, it should just be you and your work materials. It's either you do work or you do nothing. It should be that minimalistic, because I'm telling you, the slightest inkling of distraction, if you got your phone on your desk, if you have ways that you can distract yourself, your brain, your dopamine hungry brain is gonna find like little ways to distract you and want to just do something easier. So make sure you've got your environment on lock. Personally, I wouldn't recommend working in your bedroom. Personally, I can't focus that well in my bedroom. I like to take my laptop to somewhere else in my house where it's quiet, or I'll go out to a coffee shop. And with picking your location and your environment, you want to schedule a specific time block when you're going to actually work. And I think it's best that you do it in the morning. This is the most, the schedule can work for anyone. Someone might work better in the evening, someone might work better in the afternoon. I think the morning first thing is the best for most people. Personally, I can focus better and get the most done in the morning. I put on my noise canceling headphones, get my coffee, and I'm ready to go. One morning routine that's really helped me, that's actually science-based, is the Andrew Huberman morning routine. This Andrew Huberman routine has been very exceptionally helpful in making sure that I feel energized and focused throughout my work sessions.
What does your morning routine look like at the moment?
Morning routine is wake up. When I wake up, I make a beeline for sunlight. The single best thing you can do for your sleep, your energy, your mood, your wakefulness, your metabolism is to get natural light in your eyes early in the day. Really, the quality studies on humans that have looked at this say try and get as much natural light as you can in the morning hours, whenever it is that is for you. I get sunlight, I hydrate, I drink water. I have this obsession with trying to do one cognitively hard thing a day and one physically hard thing a day. Then I do caffeine about 90 to 120 minutes after waking. And even though I prefer to work out earlier, I generally will then do some sort of physical workout.
Okay, now here's the fifth most important tip about deep work that a lot of people are going to overlook, and you need to take regular breaks. This nicely ties into my last tip about scheduling in the time. When your time block of deep work ends, take a break, immediately get up and do something ideally easy and not as stimulating. This way you can come back with new energy, new focus, and just more ability to just get back into deep work again. Recharging will go a long way. So I didn't record this next part the way I wanted to, so I'm just re-recording it. So there is one obstacle that a lot of you are going to run into, and that's already holding a lot of you back from actually being able to sit down and focus and concentrate and in general just do difficult things, and that is overstimulation and just dopamine sickness. Because I'm going to give you a quick rundown of how the human brain works. When you spend most of your day chasing the activities that feel the best in the moment, your brain is going to get trained to like just get these instant hits of dopamine. Like being able to have just a little bit more discipline and cutting out these quick sources of dopamine, these cheap sources of dopamine, is going to make sitting down and doing deep work and focusing and doing things that kind of suck but are going to give you a lot of reward. It makes those things a whole lot easier. And guys, I understand, like, I'm not just like, I don't live my whole life like this. I don't deprive myself of any of all fun things in life. I like to, you know, now and then have some drinks with my friends, watch some YouTube videos, watch some shows, do stuff that I guess is kind of like instant gratification. But when you're in a period of your life where you really need to get these results, like when you're in like your last year of school and you really need to just get these good results and just get good grades, it's really worth it just for a time period of like a few months, just to cut out all this BS, all these instant gratification sources, and just get to work. And your brain will get used to this quickly, because when you lower the amount of instant gratification that you are getting from your, you know, everyday life, social media and whatnot, you're gonna enjoy doing the harder tasks, the harder activities a lot more. It's really important that you protect your attention and your focus so that you can put it intentionally into something important, rather than having outside sources taking it away from you. And that was the video, guys. Again, the link for the one-on-one coaching is in the description. I want to help you out one-on-one. If you need help with your fitness, your discipline, your motivation, productivity, whatever it may be, whatever you're struggling with, bro, I want to help you one-on-one to fix that problem for you. Let's get to work. And the first session is completely free, by the way. If you have any questions, feel free to ask them in the comments. And if you found this video valuable, consider subscribing for more content, for more helpful guides. I hope you have a focused, happy, and productive day, bro.